with a twist turkey wing. This is a turkey wing with a broomstick on it, and we're going to show you how to do that today. And then this is the traditional turkey wing. Okay. So today we are going to do turkey wings with some dyed broom corn. And I'm going to put a little bit more in here before we start. And we are going to separate this into 8 sections. You need about a half a pound of broom corn. That's a little bit light, so I'll get a little bit more before we... Okay, so I've got my broom corn here. What I like to do is this. Divide it in half. And then take those halves and divide them into quarters. So... gives me 4. I need 8. So I'm going to divide these each into halves, and then I'll start stacking them. Just real quick and dirty. It's not rocket science. I said that before, huh? Okay. So the difference is that we are going to put this on a stick. This is, I can't remember if this is either sycamore or it was sassafras. But anyways, you can see it's got this real pretty butter color underneath it. And then it has a groove. These are called vine-choked hardwoods. And this had honeysuckle growing up it. So I cleaned it up. And then what I've done on the bottom of this so that it will not pull out, so I put a little cross brace here, and I just drilled a hole, and I had just a spare piece of number 8 round that was dyed purple, but it's going to be covered up so you can't see it anyways. And I've got that in. I want that as close to the bottom as I can, and all that does is hold the broom from, or the broom corn from slipping off. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so first thing I want to do is just make an overhand knot. Pretty simple. Okay, and I don't want all that fuzz on there. It's not a big deal, but it's just stuff you got to cover up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to bring it around my hand and there so that the tail is away from me. And then I've got this X with it I'm going to hold so it doesn't, I don't lose my loop. Get a little bit more here. And then I'm going to turn that upside down, put my fingers from my left hand inside the hoop from the top down, grab that long string, and then I'm going to bring it up and tighten it up some. You don't want this real long here, your short string, because you want it to slide on the long string, but you don't want that real long on the short string because it's just more you got to cover up. So I want to make sure that my spindle is coming off, the string's coming off the top. And let's get started. So our broomstick does not get started right away. What we're going to do is we're going to do about 4 sections of broom corn and get that tight. I like to bring that down when I'm starting, you know, where it starts getting brushy. This wants to stay even. Tighten this up a little bit. So I'm going to wrap this 4 times, and I'm going to keep that knot down so that I cover it. With my wraps 4 or 5 times. You can do more if you want. All right, so, and I know where this knot is where my starting point where I'm going to add on more. So here's my next one. So the technique we're going to use today is with a twist. So it looks like it's continuously wrapped. And you're going to wrap around. It doesn't matter how many times. I think I do 6. So it's a wrap and tug kind of thing. At this point, you don't want it super tight because you're going to have to get that broomstick in there. Snug, yes, but not super tight. Remember, you're adding the closest to your spindle so you don't get confused and add up on top. It's always on the same side. You're going to level that up. This is my third bunch. I'm going to keep that tight. I don't want it overlapping. I just want it next to it. I'll start putting a little bit of curve in it for my turkey wing. Okay, so I'm going to put this last batch of 4 in here. And the reason that I'm doing 4 is because I've sectioned it off into 8s, right? And I want that broomstick about in half. So I don't want to get this real tight because then I can't get it in there. I want the long part of this to go on the inside. Or sorry, short part. I want to go on the inside when I get here. I'm going to finish this off and then I'm going to add that in. Short part to go on the inside, long part to go on the outside. Just because the long side is where I'm going to be adding more broom core. So let me finish this first. There we go. So now I've got 4 on and I'm going to add my 5th one. And before I do that, I'm going to put my broomstick in. So, sorry, short end of this I want in here. Okay. Now this is where you're going to have to take a leap of faith. I want that in there as far as I can. And then I'm going to put my other new section on. And that's going to start covering this. So I want it on both sides as much as I can. Okay. And then I want this down as far as I can get it because I'm going to have to make an advance on this one. Okay. You don't have to do it in the rest of it, but you do have to make an advance on this one to hold that broomstick there. And it doesn't matter if it hasn't completely covered this because we're going to be adding onto it. I've got too much in here for my broomstick to be able to float in there. So there we go. If it was a straight dowel, it wouldn't have that problem, but then it wouldn't have all the character either. So I'm going to put some more in here. Remember, I'm trying to cover this up. Okay. Keep those as level as you can. I see I got some shorties in here. I don't want it on top of it. I want it next to it. Now, you can opt to like do an advance and then do several ties. Or just keep covering it. Either one's fine. So I'm going to take another one. And remember, I'm still trying to cover this up all the way. You can see why that's never going to pull out. And even though you're wrapping up here, I might trim that down a little bit. I've got one more section to go, so I think I will trim that down just a little bit so it's not showing. I got a little bit too wide in my cross piece. Okay, so I'll put my last section in. And actually it covers it. I'll probably go in there and trim that up just a little bit anyways. But make sure that stays over here. This is kind of clacking around because it is a stick with some character. So then I have to make a decision. Do I want to do an advance up so I look like I've got more stripes, or do I want to keep it just solid? And I think that I will do an advance up. So an advance up is just a spacer. That way it looks a little bit more stripy. You see more of the broom corn, and since I put dyed broom corn in it, I'll go with that. So I'm going to do about 6 wraps. And then I'll do another advance. Another advance, and then about 6 wraps. Like I say, you don't have to do this, and I'll probably do this to about up to here, and then call it good, since some of this was shorter than the other. You want that to flare out real nice. Okay. But when you do your advances, you want to do them on the same side. You either want them to show or you don't want them to show. If you don't want them to show, put them on the back of your broom. If you do want them to show, then put them on the front. And I'll do one more. All right, I'll do one more advance here, and then I'm going to trim this up. So wrap one more time, and when I do it, because I'm going to finalize it, I want to put actually I want to do this on the back. My jerk string. Put my jerk string in, and then wrap it about 6 more times. Okay, so I'm going to hold my tension with my thumb, cut the string, Oops, I just lost my tension. I'm going to take the loop, grab that tail and put it through it. Come over here to where my knot's at. Pull that through. Wrap it around something, doesn't matter what. And pull that nice and tight. And then you can trim it off. Okay, so this is all sorts of not real level. And that had to do with the broom corn being a different length, the dye broom corn being a different length than the natural. So, what we're going to do. Cut through that. And this will take a bit. So I will show you the finished product when I get all done. So here's our finished product. We have the cool twisty stick. And we have the twisted turkey wing on a stick. So yours will look as good or more fantastic. Hey, it's Jill. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and like our videos and subscribe. That way you're always updated on anything basket related that we have on our Jill Choate Basketry channel. You won't miss a thing. Please like us and subscribe. See you next time.